of reincarnated as a first-rate villain. I don't know how to play my role. Chapter 2-2, In the Shadow of Giants. To be born noble is not a gift, it's a performance. The rhythmic tap of polished shoes echoed softly through the vast vaulted halls like the ticking of a clock in a sacred cathedral. Each step Lucien Caelum Velebrandt took on the cold marble floor whispered his presence, though the mansion around him already knew who he was. He walked beside his maid Marie, the scent of lavender trailing faintly behind her like a memory in bloom. Her back was perfectly straight, her uniform crisp, the silver rose emblem of House Velebrandt gleaming on her chest. She was not just a servant, she was a symbol of the estate's relentless order. Lucien's gaze swept across the estate's heart with widening eyes. No matter how hard he tried to stay calm, the grandeur suffocated reason. The Velebrandt estate wasn't just a residence, it was a monument to power. Cathedrals of shadowed stone and gold veined into black obsidian arches. Every corner spoke of history, blood, and iron will. Is this even a mansion? Or a divine temple where egos come to be worshipped? Lucien muttered to himself, the voice echoing silently in his mind. Above him, murals of celestial battles glowed faintly in the early morning light. Angels locked in war with horned demons, swords ablaze, wings torn, blood cascading like rivers across the painted heavens. Towering vases taller than grown men flanked the walls, filled with immortal flowers that glowed faintly with preservation magic. Servants in black and white uniforms moved like whispers, bows deep, eyes downturned, every motion rehearsed. He passed a maid who paused her scrubbing, bowed and murmured, "Good morning, young master." He smiled, awkwardly, his small body almost swallowed by the aura of authority clinging to the title. "Good morning," he answered aloud, but inside, "Good God, I used to microwave leftover curry at 2 a.m. and now people bow when I breathe." He tried to stay composed, tried to walk with dignity, but he was 6 years old, technically. His legs were short, arms still soft, and yet he was navigating a world built for titans. His soul, however, had already lived through an entire timeline, a life of war, betrayal, and death, a life he no longer wanted. Eventually, they arrived at a set of double doors large enough to hold back a dragon. They were carved from blackwood, heavy, solemn, etched with the sigil of House Velebrandt, a silver lion roaring defiantly into the setting sun, coiled in thorns that looked too sharp to be mere ornament. 2 guards clad in enchanted plate armor stood flanking the doors. Their polished helms gleamed, and their halberds crossed with a resonating clang as one stepped forward. Announcing the arrival of young master Lucien Caelum Velebrandt, heir of the West, blood of the Grand Duke. Lucien flinched. Man, even the guards sound like subwoofer demons. What kind of reverb settings are they using? Then came the voice. Cold, controlled, a blade drawn in silence. Enter. The doors opened, not creaked, not groaned, but swung wide like wings of destiny, guided by unseen magic and trained hands. Lucien walked forward, heart thudding, thoughts racing, until he crossed the threshold into the grand dining hall of House Velebrandt. The scent hit him first, decadent and spellbinding. Spiced meats roasted to perfection, dahat, buttered breads still steaming, candied fruits in golden bowls, and some kind of enchanted coffee that smelled like victory and heartbreak in equal measure. The room was massive. The dining table stretched far into the distance, a black obsidian slab etched with blood-red veins. Gold-rimmed chairs stood in silent judgment. A skylight above flooded the space with soft morning light, illuminating silver goblets and polished plates until the entire room shimmered like a divine courtroom. And at the head of the table, they sat. The figures who had once been sprites in a video game cutscene were now terrifyingly real. Grand Duke Aldrich Thorn Velebrandt, a behemoth. He looked carved from stone and sculpted by war. Thick white hair swept back like a lion's mane, streaked with iron gray. His armor, a hybrid of ceremonial and functional, hummed with faint mana currents, the shadows of runes pulsing like slow heartbeats. A crimson cloak draped behind him, trimmed with abyssal fur from a beast likely slain by his own hands. But it was his eyes, silver, stern, unyielding, that pinned Lucien like a spear to the ground. Beside him sat Archduchess Serafina Lysandra Velebrandt, a vision of grace and quiet power. Her golden hair flowed like silk, braided with silver leaves that shimmered with enchantment. Her deep blue gown, embroidered with constellations, gave her the aura of a goddess who had simply chosen to live among mortals. Her posture was flawless, her expression poised. Her presence could soothe storms or summon them. Lucian's thoughts scrambled. Of course my parents look like final bosses in a JRPG. Why wouldn't they? My dad looks like he eats demigods, and my mom is literally an empress in disguise. He tried to straighten his back, tried to summon the pride of his bloodline, but in their presence, even breathing felt like a risk. Then the Grand Duke spoke. Lucien, come. Sit. Lucien didn't hesitate. His legs moved on instinct, and he obeyed. Not as a 6-year-old noble, but as a soul who had once faced death and knew when to bow before greater forces. Marie stepped back, vanishing into her place by the wall, graceful and silent. Lucien reached his seat, a child-sized throne set to the Grand Duke's right, and climbed up with careful grace. The seat cradled him in velvet, a warm contrast to the chill crawling through his spine. He caught his reflection in the polished silver plate before him, silver-white hair, red-gray eyes, a noble face from another life, a face that belonged to a villain. No pressure. He reached for his utensils, paused, then blinked at the absurd number of forks and knives laid out before him. Bro, are we fighting soup monsters at this table? Desperately, he glanced sideways. His mother moved with effortless elegance, lifting her fork with the precision of a ballerina. He mimicked her movements, trying not to stab the roasted duck with the wrong implement. Seraphina's voice drifted to him, soft yet firm, like snow melting beneath sunlight. Have you been well these past few days, Lucien? He turned, straightened, and nodded. His voice came soft but sincere. Yes, mother, everything has been amazing. Her lips curled into a faint smile. For a brief moment, the formality between them faded, and Lucien felt something real, something warm, something like safety. But then his father spoke again. I will not be here for the coming years. Lucien's fork froze midair. He looked up, instinctively searching the silver eyes across from him. The Abyssians have begun pushing harder at the Western Front. The resurrection of the Abyssian king has triggered unrest. My presence is required at the stronghold. The air turned heavy. A quiet stillness fell. Not silence, but gravity, the kind that accompanied farewells that might never find returns. Seraphina nodded slowly. Be careful, Aldrich. The Grand Duke merely grunted, an iron vow wrapped in the sound of war drums. Then his gaze turned back to Lucien. While I am gone, you will begin training in the way of the Western Sword. You are heir to House Velebrandt. Knight General Rex will oversee your instruction. Lucien swallowed hard. The name alone sent shivers down his spine. Knight General Rex, the executioner of 10 kings, the man who, in the game, had trained villains and executed them when they failed. He nodded slowly. Yes, father. Good, Aldrich rumbled. You will also serve as protector and example to your younger sibling. While I am away, you will guide him, shield him, make me proud. Lucien blinked. Younger sibling? Then he remembered. In the original game lore, the villain had a younger brother, one he betrayed in cold blood. Lucien looked down at his plate. Oh no, no. That's right, the heir. Me. He sacrificed his whole family in the first timeline. No wonder the hero wanted my blood. He pieced it together quickly. The younger brother, born just a year prior than the guy had, which meant the hero protagonist, the so-called savior, was still in diapers. And the younger sister, not even born yet. Lucien's thoughts reeled. My baby brother is future hero classmate number 16. My unborn sister is probably a hidden royal mage or something. And me, I'm stuck playing loving brother with a landmine lodged in my future. Still, he forced a smile. I won't let you down, father. The Grand Duke nodded once. Final. Absolute. See that you don't. Lucien looked back at his food, chewing slowly, heart thumping beneath layers of velvet and anxiety. From the shadows of the hall, Marie observed silently, her gaze soft, thoughtful. Seraphina reached for her goblet again, eyes lingering on her son for a moment longer. Her expression was unreadable, but her thoughts were not absent. Lucien exhaled. Deep. Measured. The hall echoed only with the soft music of breakfast and the whisper of wind brushing against the high enchanted glass. This was his life now. His role. And he would play it. Better than the villain ever did. Because failure in this world wasn't death. It was something far worse.